Hello, good evening. How are you? How are you? How are you, my friend? So good to see you, man. One day I get to see all of you, right? Either I become so famous or something. Somehow I become famous. Yes, in a good way, that's nothing. Let's not talk about negativity, alright? So, today, it's, April the 10th, 2018. It's almost slightly past midnight, basically, and just roaming around.
Hanging out all by myself in this fucking Florida here. Just checking out the weather is so good. I cannot even resist it. I had to get out and hang around a little bit and check out the city,
Yeah, it's a typical American suburb, there's nobody around. Shit, it's like, where are the people? I don't know, man. It's 12 o'clock and this is suburb society in America. Where do you expect them to be? I tell you, there are two places. They're either drinking or they're just having a glorious time in their houses. Okay. Well, let's talk about a very important subject. In my country, Iran, man. It's amazing. There's so many conspiracy theories regarding Iran and the history, and starting off from the climax of all that being 1979 revolution. And how do you engineer a revolution that basically will take over? And funny is that, speaking of, I always say that perhaps people in the West and definitely in America, they never get to see the real image that is going on in Iran, and they always see everything through the lenses of the American media. Is quite censored. Now, here's the thing for me as an Iranian, who, I was born like 5 years after actually the revolution happened, and I see images here through perhaps watching some documentary or YouTube somehow that I'd never seen going on. And it's just a pure image of what you see is that just people with such a huge amount of anger, going through the riots and revolution, revolting, women, men, everybody is out and chanting death to America, death to the West, death to the Israel, down with the Shah, the traitor, the whatever. And I had never seen these images before myself. And this is the part that really gets you. It's like, wow. Why you always have to portray the worst possible image, man? And you come to think about it, then you be like, you can't really blame these people, they show all these horrific image and this such a hatred, and hatred is actually quite a medium word for it. Such a huge amount of despise and whatever, and then you expect them to actually think that they can go and visit Iran and they would be welcomed. And people actually would like them. I know you hard this to find to believe, but yes, Iranians love foreigners. The second you start telling them, especially if you tell them you're from America, oh please, welcome, come. No, you have to come. Okay, listen, you don't have a choice. Listen, man, listen. You either come to my house right now, you sit, you eat, you sleep. No sex with my wife, okay? Don't think about it even, alright? And when you sleep, and next morning, when I tell you come, we go hang around, okay? I take you to my shop, I show you around, and basically you're a prisoner for the rest of your trip, in the house of this man. till he lets you off, you know. It's like, yes, that's how they love. But fucking shit, you know, if I go to Iran, the problem is that I speak Persian pretty well. So yeah, it's really hard to tell, like, you know. Well, I mean, I'm not an outsider. I was 17 when I left Iran, so, but, you know, if I actually start talking to somebody in English, also like, wait a minute, what is going on? This motherfucker, he speaks English like this, and he speaks Persian like that. Oh,
this motherfucker is a spy of these Israeli and these American people. Get him, please. Kill him right now, on the spot. Everybody should learn lesson like that. So this is a problem, quite. But no, you're American, you know, especially, you know, all of a sudden it's funny. It's just quite of a interesting dynamic, you know. The people who are actually, you might wonder, you're the immediate target of all this hatred, is actually well treated. Because, you know, I tell you, this is how the psychology works. The people who have the power to rule and exert their power, you know, it's a reverse psychology, and no matter where you go, they will love you. Even though, look at the Saudis, you know. I mean, I was just talking to myself about this thing today, and it's amazing, you know, how these mechanisms work. It's all about the fucking money, and it blows your mind. Pretty much going through the 1950s and 1960s, the whole aspects of the oil and petroleum trying to be regulated throughout the Middle East, it's pretty much the same phase and same, basically, was going through the same, you know, yeah, through the same phase and change, you know, advancement, basically. You know, the Saudis are starting trying to regulate their oil industry, nationalizing it. In Iran, you had the same scenery, basically, same kind of thing going on. However, this is a story. You have the Iranian, the Iran Shah, who has nothing against America. He loves America, for right or wrong. Bringing all these American products, the big ass gas guzzling, you know, massive, you know, this, you know, Chevrolets and cars and all American products, drinking, you know, opening up cabarets, nightclubs, you know, bars, you know, all this, just people's brain is just like fulfilled with this fucking, you know, image of this land that is far, far away from our land and has been all around for 300 years, and, you know, all these other countries that are actually perhaps closer, you know, passing the Atlantic Ocean, you know, talking about either this side Russia or that side the European, who actually happen to claim to be basically the immediate ancestors of the typical American. They're eyeing America with suspicion. They're like, are we really going to go with this movement? You know, are we really going to take this direction that they're presenting? You know, this whole, you know, new approach where, you know, no woman gets to do what they want, you know. How do you say that? The gender lines are gonna, you know, basically be distorted, you know, with gender equality, matter of fact, or actually women having more rights than men even, they'll say. You know, women dressing the way they want, they letting it loose, you know, all this topic about sexuality and being promiscuous. You know, they're eyeing this whole thing with this suspicion. The French, the British, you know, the rest of the immediate Europeans, you know, they're like, what the hell is going on? You know, this country been all around for 300 years. Now it's hitting it so with a spark, and, you know, are we going to do this? How are we going to really adapt our policy? And, you know, where are we going to go with this? I know you have all the way on the other side of the world, you know, basically traveling the world halfway around, and you have this Iranian guy, the Iranian Shah, you know, it's just like, no problem, man. It's okay, man. Oh. And my mother, you know, you're Zoroastrian, actually, to make it simple to you, and you probably don't know anything about Iran, albeit Zoroastrians, but they're very conservative people when it comes especially to women, you know, to dress and so forth. I mean, conservative that, you know, you can, how do you say that? You don't have to wear a veil or something like that, but certainly you have to
maintain a certain dress code. That's what it is. And anything outside of that, they're not going to beat you up necessarily for that. But you will be socially, downgraded, and there will be lots of, how you say that, in that department, a lot of shit talk about you, to the point that you'll be like, but you know what, please, it's okay, man, whatever you say, man, whatever you want. Stop talking about me, man, you're driving to insanity, That's what it is. And it works. It's quite an interesting dynamic. But I saw her picture, she was wearing. She's not my mom, mostly her youth around her age, and she was wearing miniskirt. I'm like, whoa, how the hell did that happen? It's a human psychology, man. For some reason, women love wearing short clothes. And given a chance, it would be just a matter of day before the ones who actually claim that they're quite of a opponents of this, letting loose and making it legal to dress the way you want. All of a sudden, you see the very own those people actually, they would do the same thing. Anyways, and how do you say that? It just amazes you, and you're like, whoa, how the hell did that happen? And I'm not talking about Muslims, we're talking about these Zoroastrian people. And you have to really understand, actually, traditionally speaking, I know these lines are blurred out, the non-Muslims, Jewish people are, Christians in Iran, being namely Assyrians and Armenians, basically, and Zoroastrians, they're actually more conservative when it comes to, attire and, clothes that is really, really meant to cover your body and be presenting modesty, basically, beyond just freakishly being just covering your body from the cold and harsh elements. Anyways, this is another thing. So anyways, yeah, sticking to the point, there's two differences drawing between the Saudis and the Iranians, basically the Persians, the Iranian Shah and the Saudis, is that here's the deal. Same timing, and up to this current time, the Saudis are all of a sudden, they're jumping up and down, and they're like, death to America, death to the West, death to the Great Satan, death to Israel, whatever, and they practice all this extreme and, radical Islam and so forth, but at the end of the night, they suck on the dick of the Americans. They have established that line, so okay, no problem, man, you can do whatever you want to do, man, no problem, please, indulge yourself, you want to, as much as you want to say, throw parties, bring even all these foreigners even to join your party, and say as much as you want, these glorious enchanting, no problem. At the end of the day, when it comes to actually selling oil to the American at the fair price, it's like they bend in front of him. Now here's the difference between the Iranian king, the Iranian Shah, is that he loved Americans. He had no problem with them. He prayed to them. He prayed to them as if he just abundant amounts of anything from America just pumping into Iran. And the only thing he said is that he saw they're stealing the oil money. He said, no, this oil money belongs to the Iranian people. I would love to do business with you, but I don't want you to steal from me. We do it in a fair way. So you see quite a different image. And so one side is quite more or less actually is pro-West, and for good or bad. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not. We're not talking about the methodology of it. I'm just talking about for whatever reason they're pro-West, pro-America. Really speaking, pro-America. It's not really yet established as Western thing yet. Even 1960s, 1970s is not a matter of being a Western West versus East. The West and East still, they're very much together in very different ways. They have not disintegrated yet. It hasn't, some such a concept as East and West is not yet established yet. Making it a better word. Really just this stranded continent called North America versus the rest of the world, and now it's gotten its hands of this advanced media and mass production ways of marketing its way, and now hitting the world back of its own way. Now establishes itself in a whole different way, straight away from the whole world, and made quite a revolution in that department, and now want to export this revolution for the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's really America versus the rest of the world, and he loves Americans. There's no problem with that, and they kick him out. They come up with this whole glorious plan of bringing the Ayatollahs to power and this crazy shit, and they take him out. But not the Saudi king, because the ones who actually they do this business and technically in practice, they have no problem with them, you know, and they keep him because at the end of the day they bend in front and say, oh man, these all joke, man, don't take it serious, no problem. And who cares? Maybe one terrorist blows himself up. What's the problem? You know, who minds? You know, you don't mind population reduction anyways. We're trying to help you. You know, that's the whole thing. You know, so take it easy, man. You know, relax, man. Hey, it's a joke. It's for fun. You know, at the end of the night, you need to watch some news, right? We're trying to help you, and we're trying to make some news for you. You know, if it weren't for us, you would not have any news, and the CNN of yours would die. This is a simple concept, man. I'm trying to help you, okay? Which part of it you don't understand? So, yeah, you know, they're one actually doing it, and everybody's cool with it. Yeah, because at the end of the night, they give a very interesting, you know, if you will, intimate service to the Americans. You know, so don't worry about it, man. This is all joke, man. This is all golden oldies we play here. It's all cultural. Yes, it's heritage. We like to keep our heritage, cultural issues we have here. Yeah, and they keep them all the way through. But no, we got to get rid of this motherfucker. But because he's not willing to, you know, let us steal the oil money. You know, he's not letting us do that, and he's actually being very serious and practical about it. You know. He doesn't have any problem with the way we're operating with our culture, with how we're polluting the world with all these masses of goddamn, you know, liquor and goddamn, you know, slutty things, and, you know, sexualizing, objectifying a woman and reducing her to a piece of fucking sex machine and all that shit. No, they don't have a problem with that. He says no problem, it's okay. Well, how big is this oil and the whole economics is that actually upsets all these things? You know, he was creating quite of a, you know, if you will, American colony basically in Middle East. You know, starting really, and he really could been actually quite an opposite, really helping quite an investment for Americans. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. They could actually grow bigger and actually could have set a lot of effects that. If you want to speak of communism, perhaps, or everything, it could actually quite play a role in it. But Americans are they can just see the immediate picture. You know, we need oil. He's not giving us oil. We need oil. So we got to let him go. Anyways. But no, it's just amazing that the devil is willing to take anything and does anything to get to what he wants. You know, and he don't care. No matter what the consequences be. Anyway, this is a repeated theme. I'm sure a lot of people know better than I do about these things. But I hope that one day you'll have the wisdom to realize that it is in our interest to, you know, despite our differences, be with each other versus letting our differences ruling among each other and taking control over us. I know the way they have established the dynamic of this world is that they believe in conflict as a means of survival of them, but I'm not sure how long this can go on, because, you know, everything has a cycle, you know. And at some point, you, the ones who actually created this dynamic, could be very well the object of that dynamic, and, you know, the forces will take you over, and what you try to actually utilize as a means of, you know, helping yourself and so forth could actually play against you. But, you know, people are just so blinded, you know, typical average American, all they see is just one thing. Shit, I got my money. I go drink, drug, fuck. I don't give a shit about the world. You know, what would I? Why do I need to give? I don't have a reason. I have everything I want is provided for me, you know. You know. It's so pathetic, you know. I mean, it's just funny, is that. And you know, I'm sorry, I hate to say this and relate to this, but, you know, just like pigs, man, and dogs, you know. It's not, I cannot believe, I mean, I make it simple. I'm not going to name anybody specific, but I know Iranians who actually, very start from their youth, growing up in Iran and coming here. Quite a contrary to your typical, perhaps what you might deem as a very strict religious view and so forth. They were actually very open about, mingling with girls and messing around with them and goofing, fooling around and all kind of shit, and so forth. And they do the same shit when they come here. All of a sudden, oof, the glory happens. Shit, now I can do whatever I want, and nobody actually, by any means, there would be any illegal, basically, hurdle or any boundary against it either. Glory to God, heaven on earth, The 72 virgins you were talking about them right here, my brother. Cherish the world, my brother. Cherish the glorious land called America, my brother. Amen to that, brother. Enjoy your time, brother. So anyways, but no, when it gets to their daughters, all of a sudden, there's oh shit,
don't hang around with this guy. This guy is I don't know. You don't bring him to your room.
Same thing with their son,
Where are you going, Alex? Hassan, where are you going? Who are you hanging out with? Okay,
they just, especially with their daughters, they're just so strict about them, and so forth. But no, in America, people do the same shit and don't give a shit. What the fuck? So tomorrow your daughter comes back home.
Daddy, I'm pregnant, yeah. I didn't know these things keep growing and growing bigger in front of me.
Oh, that's cool, girl. No problem with that. Who's the father,
I didn't know you. Shit, I lost cancer.
Oh, that's totally understandable, honey. No problem. We'll take care of it for you. There's this clinic called Abortion Clinic. We can just go and get rid of this damn thing.
Thank you, Daddy. You're the best.
Problem solved, Yeah. They don't even give a shit about that. That would be a disaster to a fucking Iranian family. Some kind of shit happened like that, they would probably kill themselves, actually, to begin with. Anyways, my brother and the fellow bitches, so it's quite a interesting phenomenon. Alright, I think it's late. I need to go and no, I'm just going to bed. Don't get the wrong idea. Yes, and hey man, try to reach out for each other. Try to learn about the other people. Try to merge with each other. Trust me, man. At the end of the day, if we stick together, man, we will have a much greater claim on this, our lives and our perhaps chances of survival and further speaking, driving utility from what the world has to offer. Have a good night, fellas, okay?